In the modern day, the Rusyn people of the Carpathian Mountains are generally either Greek Catholic or Orthodox Christians. This occurrence is somewhat recent, however. Throughout the centuries, Rusyns have switched back and forth more than once between these two types of Christianity. In early Rusyn history, before the mid-1600s, Rusyns were almost all Eastern Orthodox. This generally fell in line with the other peoples around them at the time, with the exclusion of the Hungarians. Whether this be East Slavs over the mountains or Vlachs to their southeast, all shared the same Orthodox faith. Political and religious changes began to take place in Central and Eastern Europe, however, by the end of the 1500s. The first major change being that of the Union of Brest, taking place in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth during the years of 1595 and 96. This union, in effect, brought the Ruthenian areas of the Commonwealth into communion with Rome instead of Constantinople. The move was largely a political one rather than purely ideological. To avoid the growing influence of the newly recognized Orthodox hub of Moscow, which had been done by Constantinople only a half-decade earlier in 1589. Much of the organizational structure as well as the Eastern rites were allowed to remain, this probably easing some otherwise certain tensions among the people. The Union of Ungvár in 1646 had much of the same particulars as the one in 1595. With this agreement, 63 Rusyn Orthodox priests from Carpathian Rus, in the northern edges of the Kingdom of Hungary, joined the Catholic Church. This had much of the same reasons as the Commonwealth did. You have to remember here as well that the Kingdom of Hungary was a Catholic state. Limiting Orthodox influence is also just good strategic politics as well. This agreement was led on the Rusyn side by priest Petro Parfeni, which, funny enough, complicated things quite a bit for Rome, coming from the fact that Petro was actually an Orthodox priest instead of a bishop. They were in a difficult position in terms of ratifying the union. In any case, roughly a decade later, the Catholics made Petro the new Greek Catholic bishop of Mukachevo, which, in effect, officially brought the Catholic Church to the Carpathians. Petro being eligible for the position after being ordained finally as an Orthodox bishop in 1651. Why today is there a substantial amount of Orthodox Rusyns, you might ask? Well, the major reason is because of the Soviet Union. In the late 1940s, the USSR enacted a policy against the Greek Catholic Church. In other words, the union was broken, and in place, a new Orthodox movement was created, being in communion with Moscow, of course. In the later part of the 1980s, the Greek Catholic Church was allowed back into Subcarpathia and has been going ever since. Due to all of this, the relationship between Rusyns and the Church is quite complicated. But whether you are Greek Catholic or Orthodox, you are still a Rusyn.